Good morning. This is a Scrap Your Stash, and we're going to make a card today. Now, this is going to be an anniversary card, and hopefully I have what I need out. I think I do. So, we are going to first work on this. We're going to stamp this, then cut, and then hopefully I'll show you some masking. Don't know if I'll color the masking, but we will see. Okay, so what I'm planning on doing is using, let's see here, I'm trying to find my stamp sets. Maybe, I actually think I grabbed the wrong stamps. Hold on. I want some sprigs. I didn't grab them. Okay, so let me just look for my sprigs. Sorry about that. Thought I was all ready. Because I don't want it too masculine. That's the one I want, I think. Maybe this one and this one combined. Those are both from Comfort and Joy last year. I think those will work just fine. Okay. I don't want this one too girly, because this is not going to be mostly a girl's card. This is going to be most likely from a guy. And just had a workshop, so with Christmas, so all my stamps are kind of discombobulated. Okay, so I want this little sprig here for sure. I want this guy here. These are both from Comfort and Joy. One's a card making, one's the scrapbooking set. There it is. Okay. Now, just put this one on a 2x2. The other one I have on a 1x1. And I want these seasoned up. And we're just going to do a background. I'm going to focus more in this area, actually more in this area here. This is going to be one of those triangle cards. So let's just get some evergreen out. No, maybe some sage too. The paper I'm using is Aurora, which is a 2020 paper from June, May-June catalog in 2020. Let's start with sage. And I smudged it. Okay. Actually, let's combine them. Do something like that. Let's share me. So this anniversary card's more than likely going to be going into a wilderness and gun shop that's local in town. So that's why it's going to be like an outdoorsy feel to it. Now I'm wiping it off after every one just because I don't want evergreen in my sage. I don't want it staining my ink pad. It doesn't matter with the sage to evergreen because sage is really light and evergreen's dark, so that's not an issue. the other way around is true. Couple more, and then we'll put little sprigs in here. We'll go off the page a little bit. There we go. I'm going to come back through and we're going to just do these little guys in evergreen. And since I'm using Aurora, it is, I want to do one more. Let's do one up here. The colors are Peacock, Sage, Evergreen, and Sapphire are more or less the colors. Peacock is no longer one of our colors. So what I'm doing is, what I could do if I really wanted to, I'm going to use all pattern paper today. So one sheet of pattern paper. But if I wanted to replace Peacock with Harbor, I could. If you look at Harbor's tones, it has a peacock undertone. It's got like that green, blue, it's almost like a mixture between Sapphire and Peacock, in my opinion. And I think that it would be just fine to use. So, that's why I say that. Okay, so there's those. Now for the paper I'm going to be using, it's going to be this one here. And I don't know if you can really see that. That's Peacock, but there's little sapphire diamonds on it. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. And then this is the back side. So I'm going to be using this on here. It's more or less going to be corner cards like this, where all you see is the strip. And then I'm going to show you a masking technique hopefully on that. So I'm going to move that and this, and we're going to cut this piece of paper. Now I want a 2-inch strip. Let's do the zip strip first. So I might use the zip strip too. And let's do one other 1/2 inch strip, and then we'll do 2 inches. Sorry, I hit my light. It's a sensitive light, I guess. Okay. This is going to be a 2-inch by 2-inch square. And when I first tried this card, I actually hated the design, and now it's like one of my favorites. I think it's just, if you play around with it more, you'll figure it out. And it's just really pretty, or it can be very, very pretty. Okay, and then these ones I'm going to trim to 4.5, 2 of them. I think you could get away with 4 1/4, but we'll see. I just want to make sure I have enough. And then the other ones, I don't know. We'll see if I want this one. I don't know if I do. So I think I'm going to stick with these. Okay, bring this in. Now this is going to go here and here. Okay, so there's your 2 inchers. And then the other strip is going to go along here. And I think that's probably all I'll do. Now these type of cards are really pretty with shimmer trim. So if you have any shimmer trim, I'm trying to keep this one pretty masculine, so you know, shimmer trim for me is pretty girly. So I think I'm going to keep this without shimmer trim. Could on holiday cards for a masculine card too, but this is an anniversary card. And I'm just going to put some tape runner right along the side there. Okay. Same with up here, right along this edge. So my tape runner is about 1/2 inch. And then just put them up right against each other. And then this circle is going to be elevated in the middle with 3D foam. 4.5 worked out perfectly. And I like to go from the back side. And just trim these off. So I can see the contrast a lot better from back side. There we go. Okay. So far, that's the card. I am going to elevate this, but I'm going to use the Miracle of Christmas. This is from White Pines collection that was Bring Back My Pack this last summer. Before I stamp on that guy, I need to stamp on here, and I'm going to use this little deer. You should fit on a 3x3. No problem. He's pretty well loved. And because I'm probably going to be coloring him in, I don't know how I'm going to color him in yet. So I'm going to use my Intense Black. That way it doesn't bleed too much. Oh, this one you could use whatever you want, actually. This is just a mask. So there's that one. We're going to use Intense Black on this guy here. And I'm going to kind of make him off the side a little bit. So this is the foreground, the guy. And then we'll cut out our mask and do the other guy. I'm going to wipe this off since I got his tail end on my foam. This way he doesn't ink anything else. Okay. I'm going to put this aside. And we're just going to cut this guy out. And what I do with my masks is I leave them in my stamp set so that, I mean, you can always tell a mask because for one, it has more than one line on it. It's really messy, and you'll see what I mean here in a minute. But then this way we can add a couple deer in here. And since this is for a gun shop and an outdoorsy type of feel, kind of want to go right along the black line, actually. It's still a little too loose, so I'll have to go back and redo it, but I wanted to use deer, and I think this will be a really cute card. And it's taking me a little bit longer because I am being more precise in my mask than I would if I just like cut this guy out to put on a card, because I do want him to be pretty close so I can use them over and over and over and over and over again. So this is a one-time deal. You don't have to keep cutting this one out, which is nice. Now luckily for me, I'm not going to have to worry about the legs, but you'll see that the legs can cause some issues. And it's just because he has that one leg propped up. So you're going to have issues in here if you don't cut that out. I'm not going to, because I think this mask I'm only going to be using, I don't want to deal with it. So I'm going to only use this mask for things that, like what I'm going to show you here in a minute. So I don't really even need to cut out his legs, but I'm going to anyway. And it may not pose that big of an issue, I don't know. I'll have to play with it and see. So the one that you stamp first is going to be your foreground. Anything after that, it's going to be the next background. So here's my foreground. I'm going to lay this guy right here. Now what I can do is I can put just a little touch of tape on him and he'll come right up. Or he should. But then this way he doesn't move when I want to go stamp him. Okay, so there's my mask. And we'll put this guy here. Now it looks really funny now. Oh, he didn't turn out at all. Thank goodness for acrylic blocks, huh? There, that's better. Much, much better. Okay, we're going to take this guy off. Let's see, now there's two. One in the foreground and one in the background. So, just so you guys can see that up close. Pretty cute. This guy will forever live in my stamp set, just because he can, and this way I don't have to cut him out over and over and over again. I do this a lot with gnomes, especially for the holidays, like if I'm making a whole bunch of elves or something, then I do that. So a lot of my gnomes are already cut for masking, but let's see. We can, I don't know if I'm going to color this guy or not yet. Let's go ahead and put him on the card. And I think he needs some highlight around here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some, I don't know, take some sapphire. Just because there isn't sapphire in this yet. And I know that's a coordinating cardstock. And I cut my sponges and then I label them. So like I have sap. I don't know if you can read that, but it says sap. And then I put them in a baggie. That's how I do my sponges. This way I can use them individually, and the little round goes a lot farther. And I'm just doing this just so that it stands out against that background. So it's almost like there's a cardstock behind it, but it's really not a cardstock, it's inked. So then it'll look like that, and then it stands out just a touch more than what it would normally. Okay. close those up so I don't ink myself or ink the card on accident. I'm going to take some 3D foam. Now I have one more thing I want to ink before I'm all done. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to cut it into quarters. Into 4 little squares. This is where you really want your nonstick shears. Now again, you don't have to peel all of these off. You could do 2, you could do 3, you could do all 4. I'm going to do all 4. Okay, there's that. Now what I could do, I don't know if you guys remember these spot-ons from May, June catalog. I like these things. And what I really like is, the light just went dim, the little circles out of your circle windows. You can make 12 circles and they fit the spot-ons spot on. So it's really handy to have that circle die, that circle window die for these spot-ons if you have them. So if you do have them, then you'll probably appreciate it. I think I'm going to put another one here, or maybe I'll put it right there. But I think I'm going to do this You and Me, since this is an anniversary card. The other one that I was thinking about using is this Hunting Dads. Think about like, oh dear, and then on the inside find another sentiment from somewhere else that says happy anniversary. So that's what I was thinking about doing. I don't know where my little block went. I had it earlier. Okay, well, it's buried. I think it's too little anyway. I think I have to have 2 by. My light is flickery today. Don't know why. Okay. And I might do this one in sapphire as well. So I always do a rub, rub, tap, tap, tap. For these spot-ons, you could also use the smallest circle in the stitch circles if you'd like, but I kind of like the having 12 of them cut all at once. It's kind of nice. So we can put that right here. I can even tuck it in, put it behind, could put it down here. I think I might just put it something like that. So I'm just going to get some 3D foam tape, just one little square is all I need. This is a little guy. It's probably like an inch big. Okay. Now the other thing I grabbed were these dots, and it's because, let's see, these are the In This Together dots. This was a special this year as well. But it had sapphire. And I was thinking about putting sapphire dots, but I'm not so sure I need them. I might put some more sprigs though, because it looks a little blank here and blank here. So why don't we go do that? Why don't we get card making sprigs, the little ones. Get evergreen. That'll just cover it. Make it look a little bit better. Now I may want, instead of those dots, I may do some, I don't know, stickles or pearls. You know, I have a sage pearl. It might look really pretty. I don't know if it'll stand out enough though. Maybe let's do this one. We'll do the rose gold. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, rose gold. Okay. I always test it out back here first on my nonstick, because there's always an air pocket. And I'm just doing visual triangles. More or less evenly spaced. And it just brings a little bit of a subtle touch to it. Now I'm going to have to, since I did that, I'm going to have to wait to color those little guys in. But that's okay. We'll color them in later. I'll go ahead and post this. And thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful week. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.